Episode 44 of the Turf and Touchdowns podcast, focusing back on the horse racing side of things. The road to the Breeders' Cup is very much on and with us. We'll be doing plenty of Breeders' Cup stuff over the next couple of weeks or so. Make sure you're subscribed to keep up to date with everything that we do. But this week, we're doing things a little differently. We'll get to that in a moment. Luke Elder, as always, alongside Tom Collins. Tom, the excitement for the Breeders' Cup is building. It's just not quite here yet. I feel like a kid at Christmas.
Yeah, we've got to wait for the next couple of weeks. Basically, the racing kind of takes a turn for the worse, just purely because the main horses are waiting for the Breeders' Cup now. But I think next week at Belmont at the Big A is pretty good. This week at Keeneland, it's not great. We're doing something a little bit different, as you say, covering a couple races rather than just one. Hopefully we can provide a winner. But as you say, the Breeders' Cup in a few weeks' time, 3 weeks' time from now, that's where we really thrive.
Absolutely. We've got the Grade 2 Raven Run to look at today and the Grade 3 Perryville Stakes. And also, if you're an NFL fan or if you just like sports, go take a look at our NFL podcasts. The Thursday Night Football one will already be done by now, so you can check how we did on that. And the Sunday NFL video will be up. We were 7 from 8 2 weeks ago, 5 from 8 last week, but we've been in profit for the last forever, basically, on the NFL podcast. So go take a look at that. On the horse racing side of things, we'll start off by looking at the Grade 3 Perryville Stakes, which looks on paper a absolutely brilliant race. Morning line wise, you've got Danno as the 2-1 market leader. Locked is in there at 7-2. You've got the return of Knightsbridge as well, who's 3-1, who splits the pair of them. On paper, this looks a very good race. The concern is that Locked might not be turning up here, Tom.
Yeah, Locke's been re-entered to run at Belmont at the Big A, or Aqueduct if you prefer, on Saturday. So it looks like Todd Pletcher's going to go there with the horse everyone's really going to talk about, just purely because he was a fantastic 2-year-old. He's been coming off the long layoff, so maybe Todd's seen the entries here and gone, well, this is going to be a little bit tough for him first up. We'll go to Aqueduct instead. The fact he maybe likely not running in this race kind of opens it up a little bit, but at the same time, we have a real salty favourite in Danno, who we'll talk about in a second. Just a brief word on the pace before we get into a little bit more of our selections and how we see the race. They're going to go pretty hard here. It's a 7-furlong event, so an intermediate distance between the sprints and the mile and routers. There look to be at least 3 horses that want to be on the front, to my eye. Knightsbridge, West Saratoga, Good Looking Justice. All 3 of those want to push forward. There are others drawn out wide that also want to be prominent races anyway, but obviously they're drawn wide, so they need to get across and therefore will be a little bit more aggressively ridden. I think we're going to be seeing 46 second flat through the first half here, maybe even 45 and change. That could set it up for the stalkers or closers.
Absolutely, and there are a few of them. I would put Danno into that sort of pot per se, but he's been a surprise this year in how good he's actually been. Obviously, last time around in the Alan Jerkins, he finished back in third. He won the Jersey Shore. He won the Woody Stevens as well, beating Prince of Monaco. Obviously, we mentioned Bucero quite a lot on this podcast. He's very much flying the flag for Team Bucero.
Yeah, he's a great horse, Danno. He deserves to be a short price in here. What is he on the morning line? 2-1. If Locked obviously doesn't run here, then he'll obviously go off shorter than that. To be honest, if Danno runs to anything like that Woody Stevens win, he'll take this.
Yeah, absolutely so. He's performed to speed figures of treble digits the last 3 times, 100, 101 and 104. That was in defeat last time over. We've also got Knightsbridge returning in here just before we move on to selections. But Knightsbridge is fascinating. At the start of the year, people were interested in him for some very, very good races. He was a bit too late to be a Kentucky Derby qualifier, but he looked brilliant at Gulfstream Park on that second start. He's just been off for a long time now. Where do we put him?
Yeah, he's a really promising horse early in his career for Bill Mott. Bill's a fantastic trainer, especially with these young, promising types. So I think Knightsbridge is a good-looking horse moving forward. I don't love this spot for him. It's come up a pretty strong race for the level. He's also, as I say, going to be part of that early speed battle. He's drawn well, so he may get across to the rail, and that will help. I would be surprised if he was good enough to win this race off the layoff against this kind of calibre of field, but I hope he goes close because he is one of the star potential horses for the future.
Just before we get to the Grade 2 Raven Run, who's your play in this? How do you see this working out?
Well, I think Danno is obviously the horse to beat. He deserves to be favourite, but I think he'll probably be a little bit short, maybe 5-4 even money. Could be even shorter, depending on how the field really transpires by the time the race comes off. That puts me off a little bit. I do think he'll win or go very close at least, especially with Arad Ortiz getting back on. However, I'm going to try and play a little bit differently. I'll get a little bit cute with this one, as I like to say in the US. I'm going to try Hemro each way from the inside post. Look, I'm not a Rafael Bejarano big fan. Not really a fan at all, to be honest. I think his talents are waning in the saddle, but this horse is now back to his ideal trip. Last time they reverted to this 7 furlong distance, and he was miles the best. Much better than what we saw over a mile and 16th and 6 furlongs prior to that. This is his distance. He closes from the back in a race where there's plenty of pace. I think he'll be suited by that. And he's drawn inside, so he should get a nice rail running trip. If you can get 6-1, 7-1, or even bigger, I like Hemro each way. And last point on him, his trainer Chris Hartman is 26% at Keeneland over the last year, which is a good strike rate.
Yeah, he's 12-1 morning line. Probably won't be that on the day, but 12-1 on the morning line would be nice. I'm just going to play it simple. I think Bookham Danno takes this. I'm a big fan of Bookham Danno. I didn't really think that he got the greatest of rides last time in the Alan Jerkins. Javier Castellano took him back, and I don't really get why he did that, honestly. I was watching him early on. I was watching on a very terrible stream, but he was too far back, and then he made up a fair bit of ground into the worst part of the contest. Now, when you're running against Domestic Product and Prince of Monaco, a horse who he has beaten in the past, you need everything to go right. I don't think it did last time around. And you look at what he did beforehand in the Jersey Shore, he was very good over at Monmouth Park, obviously winning more than that to be winning this, and the Saratoga effort when winning the Woody Stevens. Ironically, I know it wasn't his best speed figure. I think that's his best performance when he beat Prince of Monaco, who, yes, things didn't go right, but Bookham Danno went hard early on to get to the lead in sort of the mid part of the race. I think he takes a ton of beating in here. I understand entirely why he's favourite, and hopefully he can come out on top. We'll also take a look at the Grade 2 Raven Run as the second interest of the week. Emery is currently 7-5 favourite in the Raven Run. Takes a big part out of the morning line market. My main squeeze is 4-1. Mayuccia is 6-1. It's 8-1 and bigger, the remainder. But Emery is a horse I've got a real soft spot for. I don't think we've seen the best of Emery yet.
Yeah, I completely agree. This race, in my view, relies around Emery. I think Emery is the horse that's definitely going to take the step forward and could be a Grade 1 caliber performer. Been a little bit disappointing on occasion, but also shown some fantastic talent and just versatility in her races. It's an interesting event because, again, it looks like there's plenty of speed in here. Twirling Queen, Emery's going to be part of it. Uno Lay is probably going to be part of it as well. And some good horses have run in this Raven Run in the past. I mean, Vava won it last year. She's a proper Grade 1 horse. And Venetia Harbour won it back in 2020, etc. It looks like Brad Cox has found this spot for Emery. And it's come up pretty light for the Raven Run in general. So, yeah, I think Emery's definitely the horse to beat. I'll touch on her more in a bit.
Yeah, I totally get that. It is likely going to take a bit of beating. Obviously, my main squeeze is in here as well. Louis Sayers taking the ride, managed to win the Dogwood Grade 3 last time around over at Churchill Downs. But this is a horse who has run against Emery in the past and was behind Emery when they both bumped into Ways and Means in the test.
Yeah, I don't see how My Main Squeeze reverses that form. I'm not a My Main Squeeze fan, to be honest. I tried to take that horse on at every possible moment. The runner's danced every dance this year, seems to be running every weekend. Connections are obviously strong. The form is okay, and the recent victory is nice, but I prefer Emery out of the pair.
Anything else that you wanted to mention before we go on to selections?
Not really. I mean, VV's Dreams, interesting second off the layoff. Maybe at a price, 10-1 you could get on this horse for Ken McPeak. Could be an each-way play, but no, nothing else for me.
No. Your selection... Actually, I'm going to go first.
Go on.
I'm going to go first. Take a step back, Tom Collins. I'm going to try and play this a bit cute. I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to play straight back with Bookham Danno, and I'm going to go a bit cute with this one in Mayuccia, who is 6-1 morning line. If there's any way you can possibly get this horse each way with 3 places on the day, around 6-1, I like that. I think Mayuccia is going to be a horse who's staying on very well late in the day, ran in the Grade 3 Prioress last time around. That was a good Grade 3. Brightwork won that race. Too Sharp was second in that. Too Sharp came out and absolutely blitzed a field that she should have been blitzing last weekend, I think it was, over at Keeneland. Looked every ounce a graded horse in that contest. Mayuccia was really staying on strongly in the closing stages. And it's not the first time that Mayuccia has flashed a bit of ability. Forget the run at Gulfstream Park 2 starts ago. Just didn't fire on the day whatsoever in the Azalea. But ran in the game face back at Gulfstream 3 starts back now and beat Hall and Ice. That's the same horse that beat Mayuccia 2 starts ago. Looked very, very good in doing so. there is a chance that Emery's just too good and Maiuccia can't handle Emery. That's why I say about the each way side of things. If this horse is 5-1 up, I think is very much an each way play. But watch out for Maiuccia running late. If they go hard, that's going to help out the Delgado runner. Interesting jockey booking as well. Iraditis Jr. Jumps on. That's a big positive regards to Maiuccia. So I'm going to go a bit more left field. Are you straight bat or are you trying to find something as well?
No, I'm straight back here. I went left field in the Perryville, but straight back here in the Raven run. I'm with Emery. The horse to beat, she should be a short price for Brad Cox. I love that run in the test when she was second behind Ways and Means, as you say. If she runs anything like that, I think she'll smash this field. She's a really nice horse. She hacked up on her only previous effort at Keeneland, so she handles the track. Usually you want to be forwardly placed in a race like this anyway, and she's going to be up there. I just don't want to oppose her. Look, I wouldn't be rushing to take anything odds on. But if she opens odds against, whether that is the morning line of around 7-5 or even 11-10, I'd probably have a little bit of a sniff there on Emery. I just think she's much the horse to beat.
How do you feel about Maiuccia? Because we haven't discussed her properly.
I tipped her a couple runs back and she ran fine. I like the jockey booking. The thing is, though, with IRAD, you never know the price of a horse. I completely agree with what you're saying. Like 6-1, if you can get that, like the morning line suggests, each way, why not? That kind of the race is going to pan out to suit her to pick up some pieces. But with IRAD, you just know he's going to take money. It doesn't really matter who he's on and when he's on a horse at 6-1. Maybe this horse will actually open 4-1 and that kind of gets rid of the angle. But as you say, if she is that each way price, I'm not against that at all.
Yeah, that's Maiuccia for myself in the Raven run, Emery for Tom Collins. And we'll just recap very quickly the Perryville Stakes. I am siding with Bookham Danno in that. You're siding, Tom, with?
Hemrow each way, drawn inside.
Perfect. They're the two plays, or two races, four plays for the weekend to look forward to. Hopefully, we get a couple of winners out of the both of us. But that is us done on the horse racing side of things for this week. Breeders' Cup is getting there. We are preparing our battalion. I don't know what to call it. It's going to be a lot of work, but I'm really excited to do it.
Yeah, super excited. Breeders' Cup's the best time of the year. I've already put up a few anti-post selections on my Patreon side, so I've got a few races sorted out, but we've got loads of other stuff to go through, whether it be the Breeders' Cup juvenile races on the Friday or the main championship races on the Saturday. It's going to be a good couple of weeks in terms of previews and hopefully the racing itself. Also, whack that subscribe button down below right now so you don't miss out on any of the Breeders' Cup stuff. We're on our road to 300, 400, 500, etc. You need to see all these Breeders' Cup previews, so hit that subscribe button, please.
Yeah, don't do it later. Just do it now. Don't procrastinate. I procrastinate and I regret it. Just do it now. Get it out of the way. Get it done. You'll be fine. Also, we did do a couple of, well, one actually, Breeders' Cup anti-post preview a little while ago. Both of those bets look quite good. We put up Forever Young at 12-1, or Tom put up Forever Young at 12-1. I put up Ramachuel at 12-1 in the mile. They're now 6-1 and 4-1.
Something like that, yeah. Pretty short. I mean, we've definitely got the value. Hopefully a couple of winners as well.
Absolutely so. That's the Breeders' Cup coming in a couple of weeks at time on Turf and Touchdowns podcast. But for today, that is our horse racing preview done. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like and a comment on who you like in either of our two races or anything for Saturday as well. Until we next get the chance to speak to you, stay safe, look after other. Goodbye.